I want to talk to you today about a life-changing practice that they don't want you to know. And they don't want you to know about it so bad that they use propaganda in shows like Seinfeld to even scare you away from it. And I'm not here to sell you anything or talk to you about the next fad diet or the fad exercise program. No, I'm actually talking to you about something that you don't have to do. And what do I mean by that? Simply fasting. Having a period of time where you are not consuming and your body doesn't have to digest. And in a minute, I want to get into all the details of why you should do it, how to do it, and all the good stuff. But first, I want to show you how it's so important that they literally don't want you to do it because they want you sick. And like I said, they even use shows like Seinfeld to subliminally scare you away from it. Watch this.
You realize this is the last meal I'm going to have for 3 days?
I never heard of this. You gotta fast for 3 days to take an ulcer test. How you gonna do that?
I don't know.
You see, in this episode, Elaine has to fast, and they make it seem like the hardest thing ever, and like she might even die or go crazy if she doesn't eat real fast.
Did you guys see that wall move?
Hi, I haven't eaten in 3 days. I was wondering how much longer it would be till I get my x-ray.
We'll call you.
How do we know the dog food's any good? Who tastes it?
She is really hungry.
But here it was. Mountains of duck. And not fatty duck either, but juicy, tender breasts of duck. Assassins! How dare they keep a person waiting like this? Drake's coffee cake.
Jerry, you better stop her hotel!
Yeah, it's humor, but don't think that's unintentional. Don't think they're not trying to make her look like a Looney Tune or look like it is the most impossible thing in the world to fast 3 days unintentionally. You see, they've been subliminally trying to get us to stuff our faces all day long since Edward Bernays started his breakfast campaign back in the 1920s, where he said breakfast is the most important meal of the day. That campaign wasn't because he cared about us. It was an intentional campaign to never let us get to an opportunity where we would be fasting and not processing and digesting food all day long. He's also the guy that convinced women and the majority of the population that smoking was cool and good for you. And you know who his nephew is? Yeah, he's the CEO of Netflix, Mark Bernays Randolph, the same guy still manipulating our minds through the television. But let's get back to the topic at hand here. Fasting. They most certainly don't want us fasting. They want us to rely on them to help all our ailments. But what you might not realize is that we were legitimately intelligently designed to be able to heal all our ailments on our own. The problem is most of us never get to a point where our body is allowed and able to do that. You need to go through a certain period of time where your body isn't processing or digesting food to get to something called autophagy. And autophagy, simply put, is our body's ability to kill or repair bad cells. Now, what you need to realize is that your body will always, 100% of the time, prioritize digestion over cellular repair. It's just how it works. And if you are always consuming, you are never giving your body a chance to stop digesting. Now, in the typical female, autophagy won't start until you have gone through a period of about 14 or 15 hours without eating. And for the typical male, it's more around 16 or 17 hours. Now, 14 or 15 or 16 hours sounds like a long time to not eat for some people. But if you think about it, all you got to do is not eat after 6 o'clock at night until about 10 o'clock the next morning. I think a lot of people just do that naturally. But what you need to realize is you can put this into practice and then you can start to extend that and go into longer periods of fasting. In fact, even days of fasting. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you exactly how to do it. I can tell you what I do and how I do it and how I built up to it, but I'm not a doctor. I want to just encourage you to research more and look into it more. Don't just listen to what I'm saying. And the best thing to do is to potentially get a blood test and check blood levels and things like that to enter it totally safely. But I think, personally, if you enter into it slowly and then gradually build time, there's not going to be anything wrong with it. Now, this is how I started. for about 2 years, I fasted every single weekend for 16 hours at least. That turned into every single day for 16 hours. Then that turned into about every single day for 18 hours, and then every single day for 20 hours. Now I really only eat once a day, and I fast for about 22 hours every day. So basically I have a 2-hour window where I'm eating, and I'm not stuffing my face. I'm eating a normal size meal and then probably a large size snack after. I'm having a day's worth of calories just in a smaller window of time. Now, the health benefits of fasting is nearly unlimited, and I've named a few like autophagy, which is basically just cell repair. But every single person should try to apply this into their life somehow. And it's the easiest, probably most beneficial thing you could ever do, because you don't have to do anything. You're literally not doing something, and it is giving you a health benefit like you could not even imagine. Like I said though, don't just jump headfirst into it. Do some research, do some learning, find out more about it, start gradually, but definitely start fasting. And the fasting and prayer benefits, don't even get me started on those. I feel so tuned in and connected spiritually when I fast, and it's probably the best I feel cognitively too. I feel sharp as a tack. So do yourself a favor, look into it, and stop listening to those stupid TV shows that are scaring you away from it, so you look to them for the answers for all your bodily needs. And of course, all this was for entertainment. I know fasting is just a myth, and it doesn't really do anything. It's just some sort of silly practice that the monks do. Entertainment only.